Hey y'all, Pastor Jeff here, coming at you live again from my basement. Like so many other people here during this COVID-19 thing, I am looking around in my house and I am wondering, why on earth do I have all this junk? I mean, I don't really need it. I need to do some cleaning out and all this other fun stuff. But hey, you know, that is a story for another day. The story I want to talk about right now is the story of this guy named Naaman. Comes from 2 Kings chapter 5. Naaman was a general of the country of Aram. He would go out and do a smash and grab at some place, go and smash the people, grab some stuff, come back, and then go out later on, do it all over again. I mean, that's what he did, Got to be good at something, I guess. I don't know. But he goes out and he comes back, and later on, at some point in time, he develops, the Bible says he develops leprosy. He developed some kind of illness, and a lot of people are seeing it, including the servants. One of the servants is a little girl that he had brought back from Israel, because, yes, he had smashed an area where the people of Israel were, too. And he's done all he can about it, seen doctors, everything else, and nothing's working. And then that's when his little servant girl, this gal from Israel, she says, hey, if only my master would go and check out this dude from my homeland. He's a prophet of the one true God. You got to go check him out, because I'm telling you, that's the way to get this cured. Now, she didn't say exactly like that and stuff. I'm just like, paraphrasing a little bit. I don't know. But the point is, she tells him, hey, go down there and you can get cured. And we'll talk about some of that in another time. We'll talk about Naaman actually does go down there and speaks with Elisha, and dips in the Jordan and everything else. It's a great story. We're going to jump into that another time. But first, before we get too far into Naaman, I want to start looking right at that little girl. Because if you go too far into the story, you'll miss the point that the little girl, she was from the land of Israel. That was one of the places where he went out and smashed. He smashed the people, grabbed the stuff. That's what he did. In fact, she was there because she was part of the stuff that he grabbed. And yet when he's in trouble, when the chips are down, when he's there and he's all sick. Now, I don't know about you all, but I think I would have been at the point where I was like, hey man, serves you right. Hey man, nay man. I know, it rhymes. Serves you right. But she's not like that. No, she's not at all. In fact, she tells him, hey, you go see the prophet of the one true God. I know this guy, he's back home. And you go see him, and you're going to get well. I think there's a big, big lesson for us right there. See that little girl? That little girl, one thing that she does, she doesn't let bitterness control her life, She doesn't allow the wreckage that's in her past to wreck her future, to destroy her present. Now, too often I think that's what happens with people who are struggling with addiction. I know sometimes when you get there, I know we get like, hey, we look at the past and all the pain they've gone through, and sometimes we say, this is how I cope. But then the whole thing about recovery is we're finding out the way that we used to cope was destroying us. But instead, a far more beautiful thing is recovery. Holistic recovery. I think part of that starts with realizing the lesson that this little girl did. You can't let the wreckage of your past, no matter what it was, and I know it's terrible for people. I know some people have suffered some terrible things, but the wreckage of your past, don't let it wreck your future. I think that's a good lesson for any and all of us, but especially those of us who struggle with addiction, is that don't let the wreckage of your past destroy your present. Don't let it mess up your future. And how to get around that. There's only one way, I truly believe, that we can get around that. I think part of that's forgiveness. I think that the grace and love that Jesus Christ pours out in us, when we let that overflow and we forgive others, see, that really transforms us. I'm telling you, it does. And here's the thing. I think many people have seen this and they know this. And they see that this is true. I mean, it's no accident that in the 12 steps, that whole thing about forgiveness and reconciliation, making amends, that's all part of it. You know why? Because that's how you undo some of the wreckage that was in your past and get it out of the way as you go on into your future. Hey, confession, making amends, moving forward. It's how we do this. How we do this together. Hey, you remember what we always say at Richmond Brianna's Hope? Isolation is addiction's greatest ally, but healing happens in community. I know this COVID-19's all crazy with the isolation bit, so be sure and reach out. There's some times it's listed on the Facebook page for Richmond Brianna's Hope that different areas are meeting. I know there's other Brianna's Hopes that are doing Zoom meetings or meetings online. You can find it at ablbh.org, and there are resources. You can check all that fun stuff out. Get with a group, practice some community, get over the wreckage of the past, move into the future. All right, till next time.